As we transition to Google Mail or Gmail, I wanted to share the top 3 tips. As a reminder, Google Chrome is the best browser for everything Google. So, as opposed to using Safari or Firefox, Google Chrome is going to be your best bet, and things will work better always using Google Chrome anytime you are using Google. To access Gmail, you can either go to mail.google.com or you can use the waffle as shown above and then click on Gmail. But our top 3 tips, the first is settings is your friend. And I'm going to show you really quick how to create an email signature, turn on desktop notifications, display a preview pane, which will make sense when I show it to you. It's how First Class showed a lot of the emails, and then increase the unsend time to 30 seconds. As a reminder, the unsend button will not last or will not allow you to unsend an email after 30 seconds. That is the max it can be. And that is simply because Google is a cloud-based, as most mail services are cloud-based, as opposed to First Class, which was stored on an actual in-person server. Nearly all email platforms are now being moved to the cloud, so unsend is not a feature that really exists for anyone. And all we have right now is the unsend to 30 seconds. That's the max time. There is also, because it is cloud-based, there is no history, so you can't go back and check the history. However, on certain emails, you can request read receipts. So when you compose an email, at the very bottom, there's 3 vertical buttons. You would just request read receipt, and then you'll actually get an email when the person or people have read your email. I wouldn't turn that on for every single thing. It would just be specific emails that you would want to have that. And the last feature that I really like is that you can schedule emails to send at a future date. So you can type it all up, and then instead of clicking send, click the little arrow next to send and schedule send, and it'll allow you to choose a date and a time to send it. If you already know all of these and you've finished with the settings, your challenge for this slide is to send an email to a colleague that includes an attachment from Google Drive. Here's the attachment button just as a regular attachment. There's also a link, but this little recycling symbol that looks like the Drive symbol, you can click on that and attach something from Google Drive and practice requesting a read receipt. So that's your challenge for this one. But I'm going to go into this first tip. The settings is your friend. So in Gmail, up at the very top right-hand corner, there is a gear. Click on the gear and then click on settings. Under the general, so there's a couple tabs up at the top, just under general, that's where the majority of the settings that I'm going to share are there. You can, this isn't on there, but you can change however many, they call them conversations, but the back and forth emails, you can change so that there is 100 per page, so you're not having to scroll through as many pages. This is the undo send, and the default is 5 seconds. You want to increase that to 30 seconds. You can also change the default text style that you want. So there's a couple of font choices as well as sizes and colors. So you can change any of that. Here is the desktop notifications. So what you should do is the new mail notifications, turn it on so it will notify me when any new mail message arrives in my inbox. And that will just be a desktop notification. And lastly, well, if you want to change your picture, you can change your picture there. But lastly is the space for a signature. So you can add a signature, type in anything here. You can also check this box if you wanted it to show up in replies. This is also where you, if you had the need for a vacation responder, where you would do that. The biggest, most important thing is that you have to click Save Changes at the very bottom of this page in order for all of those changes that we just made to actually be applied. It will reload the page, and then the last one that I'm going to show you, again, go to the gear and then settings. And instead of in the general tab, you can check any of these all out if you are interested in that, but we're going to go to the advanced tab. And under advanced, scroll down to the preview pane. So the preview pane, you have to first turn it on. So it enables the ability to toggle on and off the ability to view your messages side by side with the message list. That might sound odd, but just click enable and then click save changes. And now up at the top right next to the gear, you can use this button to toggle between the standard view, which is what we're seeing now, and the split view, which is the preview pane. And that's very similar to how First Class used to do it. So as a comparison, this is standard. And then you can choose either a vertical split, which now shows like a preview of the message. And when you click on the message, it shows up on the side panel, or a horizontal split, which is kind of similar to what First Class had, where you're scrolling through your messages up here and the message preview shows up here. You can also click on this little button and it will open it up in a new window if you wanted more space. And this is your reply button. It'll show up on all of your emails, but this is your reply button. And when you click on it, you can choose whether, because this is just by one person. If it was a group, it would give you the option of either choosing reply, reply all, and so on. And just in case you're not sure, that's the compose button. You can type it in, it will autofill just like that. This is where the 3 dots for the more options for the request read receipt is on. You can also default it to anytime you compose a new mail that it reverts to a full screen. And here's that schedule send. But that is kind of your one-stop shop for all your top 3 tips for Gmail.